purpose of today's lesson is to show you how to start your assignment that you'll be working on over the next few weeks. Okay? It's going to be due the draft by week 5, midnight on Friday, and then I give you very detailed feedback, and then week 6 on the Friday. Like I said at the start of this semester, I don't play around with the due dates. If it's not handed up, well, sucks to be you. Okay? The main thing that's going to get you through this assignment is this Statistics DI materials package, which is attached to your day map, every single lesson. Okay? Because everything you need to do well in it is attached to this. The first thing that I suggest that you have a look at is the this attachment here, 2023 Summative 11 General Maths Statistics Directed Investigation PDF. That is the task sheet. That's what it looks like. I'll talk you through it. You can have a quick read of it later when I'm not recording anymore. So I've been teaching you statistics and how to run an investigation using statistics. You're going to do one now. And it's going to be to do with reflexes so that people don't do all manner of things. We just want the assignment done. I don't need it to be about something groundbreaking or will change the world. I just need the assignment done. So the thing that you're going to measure is someone's reflexes using the ruler drop test. Okay, so I've got a bunch of rulers there. If I lined up 0 with the top of someone's hand here and asked them, are you ready? And then just dropped it unexpectedly, they're going to try to catch it. Could I measure where the ruler dropped? The shorter the distance, what? The better the reflexes or the worse the reflexes? Better. The further it's caught, the worse the reflexes, okay? So what you need to do is come up with a conjecture. Another word for that is a hypothesis or a question that you can answer to do with those hand reflexes, okay? So this is how you should start it off, okay? Quickly go to, it's the wrong one. That's basically the ruler drop test, but this particular person sucks at it. They didn't catch it. So how do I begin my statistics DI? The most important thing to do to begin your statistics DI is to decide what your hypothesis is. If you don't decide, can you start the assignment? Yes? No? No, you can't. If you just decide on something, I can start. You're not going to particularly impress me or anything by choosing a crazy one. Just decide so you can start collecting data. It's already decided for you that your hypothesis has something to do with hand reflexes that you can measure with a ruler drop test. The reason why I want to limit it to the ruler drop test is so you've got something to talk about. When you're talking about your assumptions and limitations, there's certain issues with the ruler drop test, okay? Because maybe some people get practiced at it, or can you imagine like someone being a sweat at it will try to catch it before it even drops? There's issues with that may stuff around with your data, okay? That gives you something to talk about. With the ruler drop test, I already explained to you, the 0 centimeter mark is aligned with the subject's hand. The ruler is dropped unexpectedly. The distance in centimeters along the ruler where it's caught indicates their reflexes. So a long distance, is that good reflexes or bad? Bad reflexes. So a short distance would be good reflexes. What is your job today and until Friday? Your job is to decide the variable you're testing. You are deciding the independent variable. So some examples. What if I'm interested in whether people playing sports have better reflexes? Or people that play video games regularly have better reflexes? Or people that drink coffee, do they have better reflexes? Those are some examples. If you can't decide, choose one of those. It doesn't really matter. You just need to do something. Do not select gender or hand preference. Everyone is going to collect this anyway. Because if you choose a variable like playing sports and you collect your data and your data shows that none of them are any different, do you have anything to talk about? If the data is the same, you've got nothing to talk about. So gender and hand preference will be a backup. You can go, look, my hypothesis, I didn't see any result. However, I can talk about gender and hand preference instead. Does that make sense? Because I can't have an assignment that goes, I didn't see anything, that's the end. You're not going to be marked on that properly. Okay? once you decide your independent variable, you need to decide which data sheet you'll use to collect data. So if you go to Daymap, I have an example data entry sheet here. So I'll quickly download that. If he comes in, I'm going to be very upset. And because he's an adult, I'll literally say his name. These are 2 example data sheets. I basically prepared them for you. So this is the data sheet, the top one you would use if your variable doesn't apply during the test. So this one I could use for playing sports. Because if I'm doing the test, can I suddenly make someone start playing sports? No. So that's what I'd use. That's the data sheet I would use if it didn't apply during the test. But if your chosen variable applies during the test, so let's say you were interested in what happens to someone's reflexes if they were listening to music or not, how would that work? You'd put the headphones in, they'd listen to music, they'd do their ruler drops. And then what would I do after? What's the opposite of listening to music? So then I'd get them to do the same thing, not listening to music. Can you see how the data sheet is slightly different? It's got space for while doing it and while not doing it. So you need to decide on one of those 2 things, okay? That's what you need to decide. That's attached to the materials package on Daymap. Once you have decided that, you need to email me your DI proposal, which contains 4 things, but only 2 of those things that you decide. You decide 2 things. So this is, for example, mine. You'll email me this. Tuazon Sly is my name. My proposal. Your population of interest is Year 11 students at APHS. Why? Who do you have access to gain data? This class? So would that data represent 68-year-old people outside of the school? No. So my population that I'm trying to talk about will be Year 11 students at APHS. You don't decide that. You need to decide your question. So what could mine be? People that play sports have better reflexes than people who do not. See how I just decided that? You're collecting data from Mr. Tuazon, Stage 1 General Maths class. You don't decide that. You're going to collect data from each other. And literally the only other decision you need to make is which of these data sheets you're going to use. So if my question is whether people play sports or not, would it be the top or would it be the bottom data sheet? Top. So not applied during the test. You email me that so I have record of it so that I know that you can start your DI.